drank all
of our
their
beer, but fuck it.
only to discover the terrified creature was actually a coyote. If you're gonna come, you better come correct.
Finally said pick their shit up.
All right. Well, Chronix AT&T Internet has finally got all the little Mises running on the wheels at the same time as we kick off another episode of Braver, Newer, Worlder. Today is Tuesday, June 23rd, in the year of our reflecting pool, 2026. We actually took like an extra week off, so we got like an extra week of extreme craziness happening. Turns out, I don't know if you all heard, but there's these Antifa scuba diving SEAL teams that I don't know, man. They operate out of these warehouses, and they're just like they've got this like commercial grade algae by the gallons, I guess, that they go around. And Scuba Steve is just like over there like ripping the fucking liner out of the reflecting pool, and literally managed to avoid every camera. Like it's amazing how good Antifa is. Like,
And
I'm
they
kind
have a
of
magic knife, evidently,
obviously.
because in May, the fearless leader said, "You should see the new pool. It's fantastic. I don't want to plant seeds. I don't want to give anybody any ideas, but you could take a knife and you wouldn't be able to cut it." He said that a couple weeks ago. You could not cut it with a knife. Now, vandals have cut it. Go figure.
With a knife. I feel like it was kind of setting up his own excuse, right?
Is that not his MO? You set it up, and now his buddy's going to get X amount of more millions to repair it. So,
Well, they started by removing the water circulation system purely because Obama installed it. So of course that had to come out. So the water was at that point not moving. They took all the liner thing, the little spongy things at the bottom. They took all those out. They took all that shit out. They paint it dark blue, which does not reflect sunlight. It literally absorbs the sunlight. They pumped water from the Potomac that already has the whatever phosphates or stuff in it that are ripe for algae. So after you fire all the scientists and nobody fucking knows anything, this is what happens. So they just created the perfect situation for a super algae bloom. It bloomed, and here we are. Then they just had people just dumping hydrogen peroxide or whatever shit, just trying to shock, like whatever the fuck they were dumping in it. It's ridiculous. Then yes, another crony gets a few more $1 million to for a no bid contract to do the worst job you could ever imagine.
and the thing about the no big contract is the Park Service said it was necessary because of the urgency. The urgency to repaint a pool.
Yeah, before his birthday party, or else he was going to be a sore little boy. So you can imagine how many people did not want to deal with the tantrum that would have ensued had he not had the spectacular party for himself. I mean, I can't even imagine the shit tweets at this point, because we're seeing them. They're terrible. Every day he posts more and more awful shit.
Well, speaking of his parties and the MMA event on the White House lawn, either the gay guys did not show up en masse,
Yeah, I guess that might have just been one of those.
Or they did, and coverage was forbidden. I don't know. Which was it? Because I
don't know. It could have just been one of those internet rumors that wasn't true, and then I wanted it to be true. Like every once in a while, even when I see something on like Snopes or whatever, if it's so goddamn over the top and ridiculous, I'm like, come on, man, just let us have this one. I know it's not true, but let's just come on, give us one. It's not hurting anybody to think that Dingus Khan did this awful thing after he's done 47,000 real awful things. Just fucking throw us a bone. They give us the comically amusing ones.
Yeah, please. Just some laughter that some funny, happy laughter, not just I want to shoot myself sad laughter,
That's what happens when we take an extra week off, man. I was so exhausted last week. I couldn't do it, getting settled in out here in Arkansas and whatnot. And we just like worked like 7 straight days or whatever. But yeah, I was like, I just couldn't do it. But man, it just went off the rails exponentially once again.
Yep. Very, very much so,
So
and
you're taking some of
for
the blame.
Okay, sure, I'll take some of the blame, I guess.
shoulder your load.
Somebody's got to take some accountability in this world. I'll take my share.
You
So
Have you
sure?
heard?
you divide our 12 listeners by the population of America, and that's exactly how much responsibility I'm going to take. But I'm pretty sure there's a few zeros after the decimal point.
Yeah, quite a few. Have you heard they've started arresting people already? Some suspects for it sounds like a lot of scapegoats and stuff for the
Pool?
pool. Yeah, for the reflecting pool. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep. No
some
evidence, nothing on
Olympian
camera.
Yeah, some Olympian got arrested for putting his hand in it, touching it. I did see people grabbing chunks of the blue paint, for great souvenirs. I saw like some reporter from another country or somewhere, like she got threatened because she touched the water. But yeah, now next thing you know, they're going to be raiding storage units and claiming that they find all these this evidence of algae blooming, all this shit that Antifa, which they're kind of their own worst enemy, but only to people that have like logic and reason in their thinking. Because at this point, I'm like, God damn, Antifa is the greatest organization on the planet. Like these people, they should be running the fucking CIA. Like they get shit done. They don't even show up on camera. These guys are fucking vampires. Like, right? Like,
Do
and they're
way
working
better than
for us.
CIA.
Like, come on. Like, yeah. So I was being nice.
But they don't bleed orange.
Exactly.
I had
Shit.
just
Or damn. Damn.
is your shirt. I just read, and this has been a few weeks ago, but it correlates really nicely with this reflecting pole algae story. In the Scientific American, they were talking about they found specifically in Colorado was where the story was at, but I'm sure it's probably it's got more than likely a worldwide phenomenon. But they're finding algae blooms above elevations that they've previously never found them at before, like above 10,000 or 12,000 feet, like places where it usually is too cold and the algae wouldn't grow. So you think about climbing up that pristine alpine lake, crystal clear blue water, you can see right down to the bottoms and stuff. And you get up there, you've hiked all that way, you can barely breathe from lack of oxygen, and there's algae in it. So, yeah, which, we're just, like I said, we're spoiling the planet everywhere from sea to shining sea and from the mountains to the fucking reflecting pool. So I'm almost 45. It's ramping up hard.
It was so funny. And yeah, I don't know what, we're talking about the reflecting pool that he now destroyed. We're talking about the lawn that he destroyed, the debacle of a celebration that he put on, and still we don't have the Epstein files.
No,
and
no Epstein's.
and they're sneaky, like underhandedly changing languages and all like these bills and stuff. They're like doing things like changing language to make embryos technically children, like they're setting up for the abortion ban, like they're doing all these things. Like the Trump family's trying to, like, one of their businesses, they're trying to get it to be operated like a federal bank. Like they're still doing all the awful things. And like we've talked about before, it's just the fucking shit show debacle, razzle dazzle out in front that gets everybody's attention. He fucks up a reflecting pool, every single possible way you can. And that takes what, a and a half
Focus
of
away.
headlines away from all the actual laws that they're changing and all the shit, like for like the sixth straight month, they have not allowed one refugee in this country that isn't white. Like, so when he's talking about that, because there's algae in the reflecting pool.
Yeah, and they've so not letting in certain ethnic groups. They've dropped from over 200 accepted religions in the United States military, and down to like 13. Down to
I thought it was just Catholics. Yeah, I thought you had to be Catholic. Like they were
no,
eliminating like
there's no,
Seventh-day
there's a
Adventists and
yeah,
Mormons and
there's
everybody
like
else too.
yeah, there's still in double digits of who they accept.
13 out of the what, potential 2,000-3,000 on the planet.
And like I said, it was over 200 that they'd initially accepted before this, which is, fair, whatever. Again, it's kind of silly that you have to accept any religion in the military. I don't see why that's part of it, but whatever. There's something to do with like you talk about then you need to be assigned a chaplain and it helps getting you buried or your remains done and this and that and stuff. I don't know. Seems a little
Well,
weird to me, but
basically, what Hegseth is doing across, in case you're not familiar, AI, like Hegseth's big
Yeah, you could
thing is
tell by my look, right?
he's just eliminating people from history. Like I've even seen stories where he's doing it in like graveyards of American soldiers in like the Netherlands. Like if you were not a white Christian male, your name is no longer on the list. So you weren't there. You didn't exist in history.
But what Chronic was saying are they not accepting you in the military unless you practice one of these 13 religions?
It's just that you're not recognized. Like the only services that they will have will be
Got it.
Catholic services or some type of Christian national service, whatever, however the Nazis do it.
no observance of your holidays, no observance of your faiths or your culture. Like like if you got killed in action and combat, and how your body is returned, and how your all that kind of stuff. It affects for a lot of people. Like to me, I don't care. Burn my body, do whatever. I'm dead. I'm gone. This is
Oh,
just some rotting piece of
do we have
meat.
to wait till you're dead? Okay, I gotcha.
I
Yeah,
mean, I
I'm
would
glad you
like it.
mentioned that.
But yeah, I would like it, but I do whatever. But like to some people, it really matters a lot what happens to their bodies and stuff, and that's important, and for them, and that should be observed.
For sure.
So
And then you got like traditional religious like wear, things that they would wear, ways they would wear their hair, things like that. They wouldn't, something they could not allow that. You might not be allowed to wear a dashiki or, prayer beads or have any of that kind of stuff. So, you know, you're the only one acceptable Bible that they actually teach from. So
yeah,
these people aren't big readers. They're really just trying to winnie their world down to one book.
one book that most of them don't even read.
No, I
Yeah,
definitely haven't read it
no,
because you can tell they haven't read it by the things they say are in it.
No, they do.
yeah.
They read the Pulp Fiction version.
Pretty much.
That little paperback copy, you can keep in your back pocket, which you always can reference, right? Yeah. Jeez.
Buddha, you said something about the laws and stuff they're changing. I read today, and I haven't gone into details, but if you are disabled, you're in trouble these days. They are trying to, I think it was 1999, where the federal government said, okay, states, if someone's disabled in your state, you have to take care of them in their own community. They don't, just because they're disabled, they don't need to be
In a facility.
in a facility. Well,
Right.
our administration has now said, we're going to change that. That's not really a law. So if you are disabled, you could be forced to live in a facility now.
Yep. Which,
That's
kind of
scary.
goes, well, their buddies own the facilities.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
then they get
And we all
terrible
know how
treatment.
well it worked before, till they kicked everybody out and put all the half our homeless population or from the insane asylums prior to this. And I use the term insane asylum loosely. I mean, no, like the
No, that's
asylums,
what
whatever.
exactly
But
what Reagan did all that. He put all the lunatics like clinically to diagnosed lunatics on the street and kicked them all out of the facilities for sure. And then we had a huge homeless problem after that. How about that?
Yep. But let's not take care of those people. That would be Christ
Take
would.
care of you. That's not what they
Kenny
do. Hell,
Loggins Christ wouldn't do that.
Kenny Loggins Jesus would not do that.
No.
The hell, he's even trying to say now he is gonna withhold all like money for like the Homeland Security for the states if they don't turn over like all their voter rolls. Like he's
You say voter rules or voter rolls?
rolls
Yeah.
like the people, the list. Like in some states have already done it. Like some people's have already been given to the government, and here we are, 5 months away from November, and we are accelerating quickly to no election. Like
No election.
he's doing everything he can to eliminate mail-in voting. He doesn't want any of that. So every possible trick they can pull now to stop people from voting, to get people off the voter registrations, it's happening. So yeah. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I think we've reached the bottom of the nihilistic well.
Stop
And we
saying
are
that.
only 15 minutes in.
Right.
Stop saying
We can always dig a little deeper. We can. I know.
that.
I
Well, you
know.
mean
Pretty.
we. I thought you meant he. Okay. All right. Yeah. Never mind.
No,
I was going to say,
our
he'll find
nihilistic.
something else. Yeah, he'll go further.
Yeah, like
I mean,
this
you want
was
to
like
talk
the one.
about the environment and bringing all of our fucking, I mean, it is one thing to talk about, hey, we don't want to be dependent on these other nations for our rare earth minerals and stuff and phosphorus and the fertilizer ingredients we need to grow crops. But, naively, his base or a lot of Americans, they've never seen what mining and strip mining and open pit mining does to the landscape and how bad it is
God.
for the environment and the people there. And while we don't want to be in, I don't know, while we don't want to be dependent on these people and I don't want to be destroying the earth, I'd rather have that toxic shit someplace else than my backyard being our country, you know. And if we're gonna have it here, then maybe we should have something like the Environmental Protection Agency around to make sure that, no, we don't start creating more Superfund sites, which is
Well,
how,
they do all that. They do now. They've gone to what, mountaintop removal instead of
yeah.
strip mine, and like the water's just filthy in any of those areas. Like there's so much of that. I can't believe like that we still dig rocks out of the ground to make energy. That just seems very Flintstone to me. But a few people make money that way, so they
Well,
like it
it's
that way.
communist to believe in and not use fossil fuels, to use solar and wind. That is it's a communist idea and strategy. It was all propaganda that was sold to us by China so that we would fall behind in the energy market. I listened to a guy try to sell that in a book the other fucking day. And I was like,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure China is setting propaganda our way. You know what? The other thing he was talking about was the data centers for the AI and how people in America don't want them in their neighborhoods because how bad they
Mhm.
are for water quality, water availability, power usage, utility price hikes, yada, 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 and all legitimate concerns. He says that all of these legitimate concerns while they're legitimate concerns, all of them are highly blown out of proportion by Chinese propaganda simply so that the people in America will be upset about it and that the American AI will fall behind and Chinese AI will leap ahead.
Well, why are the Chinese putting their data centers underwater in the ocean to cool them and keep them away from the soil, and we're not?
Right? I mean, maybe they're doing stuff better than then maybe we should start doing espionage of our own and stealing their shit, right? I mean,
These things are popping up everywhere so fast, like, and like it's like the law, even what Bezos was made some comment about, like people drink too much water. They need to stop drinking water so we can have it for the AI centers or something. I'm like,
That was taken out of context. I did a little fact
okay,
checking.
all right, good, because he better watch it because super villains, like we're this far away from like a super villain.
Yeah, when I read that one, I was like, no fucking way. So I did a little fact
Okay,
checking.
good. That was the dumbest thing ever, but that guy
Yeah.
does seem to be a little clueless from time to time. So what was the context of that? What did he
He
mean
was
by that?
saying, let me try to remember. He was saying, damn, I don't remember.
Yeah, all right. Well, that's fine, but
It
yeah,
wasn't
I get
nearly as bad as it was made to sound.
it wasn't nearly as bad as "fuck humanity."
It really had nothing to do with people using water. It had more to do with water being used for other resources.
what, like golf courses or
I think,
making
yeah,
snow for
yeah,
skiing
yeah. I
or
think, yeah, anything like that.
I mean, for any other process that we use for anything fucking else that we have in our technology
Right.
in
He's
our
like, if you
society right
look at
now.
at how much water is used for everything else, what's used for data centers is nothing, basically.
Because
That's not true.
for for God so loved the earth that he gave it enough water for the people or the data centers, and they had to choose between the 2. Like, what the fuck, man? Come on. This is where we're at? Like,
Well,
I'm having a squirrel moment looking at Chronic's Fresca instead of his
Fresca.
normal beverage of choice. I'm confused.
well, you said
We had a
supervillain,
different
and
one on there.
Yeah.
I'm double fisting. I also am
All right.
enjoying a
All right.
Stone Brewing IPA. But you mentioned supervillain, and I just wondered if anybody here would want a Fresca.
I
Or
actually
can
have
I?
some in here with some gin.
That
And
went over my head.
That went
that's
over my
key.
head too.
I so I just started watching The Boys, and was it season 2 where the church dudes, everybody was on, would you like a fresca?
Yeah.
Every fucking scene was, would you like a
Okay.
fresca? Which is what I thought, maybe I was like, that's where Wagaman and them started fucking getting it from and drinking it. I was like, I mean, I like fresca and stuff, but I never got what the fucking joke is in the boys, why they're offering frescas to everybody.
I don't know. I got
I
to
don't know if
watch
there
the
is one
last
or not.
season of that. I don't know if there is either.
Is that
I
the one that
haven't.
gets really, really graphic?
My God, graphic.
Yeah,
Like,
it's good. I like it. I enjoy it. It's very satirical and I love it. Very up to date and current.
and
Yeah.
it's apparently like a satire of the current Republican Party and the corporate interminglings therein, and how, basically AI. If you're not familiar, it's about a group of a group of superheroes with like real abilities and stuff, but they're controlled by the evil corporation that is, backed by all the right wing, politicians. So they're all in cahoots together. Totally out of the, couldn't possibly happen in real life. Total satire, totally over the top.
Very fantastical.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bloody
So,
like a Quentin Tarantino flick.
100%
yes.
animated or special effects?
No special effects. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And it's interesting because a lot of what they show them using their superpowers for is sex and perversion in ways you can't even imagine.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
it's
we'll leave that
definitely
little
not for
teaser
saving
right
people.
there. Yeah. So I got to watch the final season, but I might have to go back and probably watch that one again if I can.
So it's not
Yeah.
exactly first date kind of material.
Well, I mean, if it
really
is,
depends.
and
Yeah.
someone special.
If you met on alts.com, maybe, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Totally.
Exactly. So what have you guys been hearing as far as the World Cup and the FIFA events? Like, is anyone actually following matches, or are we just kind of following
I
the
feel like that's
sideshow of
not
it all?
important. The matches aren't important. And even the fans coming from other countries, they're here for the fun, to celebrate their country, just to take it all in. I don't think they really care about, I mean, I'm sure they want to win, but I don't
Wouldn't it
think.
be cool if Iran won though?
Oof.
Yeah. Yes. That'd create a huge kerfuffle.
And Trump had to give them, because he's already said he'll be at the awards ceremony to hand the winners. Like, he's already surrendered at Versailles. Like, what else you got?
Yeah. And yeah, that would be it's got to be anybody. It's going to be anybody but America. America's still in it. I don't know.
I think
'Cause
they're
I haven't
doing very
watched
well.
it.
I think.
Are they?
Yeah.
I mean,
We are.
good for them.
Yeah.
Go
Good for us.
America. Let's go USA. I cheer for them.
Mhm.
I just typically in the past, historically, we haven't been done real well in soccer. So, but if they do, great. I'm all for it. In fact, I will cheer for them.
No, I have heard, like you said, a lot of the fans from around the world are having a great time, enjoying the matches and stuff. And I did see a little blurb about that. All these matches are in blue cities, like LA, Portland, like they're all in, like, they're not in deep red places. So these are the places that people like to go when they come, to visit America,
True. That's
A
a point.
politician from Boston evidently hosted a match where Scotland played,
Mhm.
and Boston has just fallen in love with Scotland. They're like, "You guys come back anytime. We
Drank all
drank
their
all of our
beer.
beer, but fuck it, we'll restock. We'll have more for you next time. Just come on back."
Not a made up story. Literally drank them out of
Yeah.
beer. I love it.
And
They
even the
said the
Irish
city
people,
about ran out.
even the
I'm glad I
Irish were
didn't
saying,
go. 'Cause
"Yeah, these
that would
Scots,
suck.
man, we drink beer, but no, these Scots, no, they'll drink you. They'll take your beer now."
That, and I
My-
heard, like, the chants that they've been, saying in some of the matches, like a lot of anti-Trump chants at certain matches, especially like the Brits. They've got some
Oh yeah.
some wit to their rhymes, apparently.
I don't think you get in any other sport, and maybe I just don't know. I have the experience with it, but I really do think you get some of the best like chants that go throughout the stadium at the soccer matches. I just
Sure.
I don't know how people coordinate that stuff, but it seems to be done really well. I don't know. I'm never in the loop. I hear people chanting, and I'm like, I hear everyone doing it, but I can't hear it well enough to keep up with it. Did we get a pamphlet? Did I sit on something that is like a hymnal that I missed? But
The last
Yeah.
thing you want is to be the white guy off beat.
Right. Yeah. I can do that in a wave. Pretty fucking cool.
Whee!
Yo, loosey goosey.
So I just had
You know, I
another
heard
cool
they
moment while Chronic was talking. Is it a green bandage? Do you want to fill us in on how your thumb is?
yeah, the thumbnail. I let
The
go.
thumbnail. The thumbnail's good. Thumb's fine. It's been one of my least painful injuries
Okay.
since I've had it, which is amazing. We were at work. We were me and 3 guys were moving a really large 1/2-inch thick steel plate, to make a flitch plate. It's probably it's
Half
heavy. 1/2 inch.
Wow, that's thick.
Yeah. Yes. And we ended up putting 2 of them together. They're 1/2 inch by 20 wide, 20 inches wide. And then I think these were like 14 feet long. And we were 2 of them with 3 LVLs, make sort of like a triple stuffed Oreo thing going on, right?
Wow.
Yeah. It friggin' large. So we're just getting everything staged, and there's only 3 of us. And we're trying to get stuff stacked and blocks underneath it so it's not laying on the ground because it's pre-drilled for bolts and stuff so we can laminate it. So we're trying to line everything up. And instead of using like a stick or my steel-toed boot, I used my hand and got it a little close. And they had the steel beam up on like a toe strap, but they let go of it, and I pulled so what happened when my fingertip got pinched as I was pulling out, and so I'm the one who actually ripped it off myself. But there's no crush damage, no open fractures to the bones or anything. It's as long as I keep it wrapped and nothing really like touches it super hard, it's fine. I get no pains from it or nothing. It's great. So it's gonna take 6 to 9 months to recover, but you know.
You have to have it wrapped up for that long and try to get the nail to reset?
It's mostly for the skin right now because it ripped it ripped like a large chunk of skin off the tip as well to open flesh. So it's just kind of everything heals back up and kind of hardens,
Yeah.
sort of. Although I probably will just because you know how that's the worst thing. Like it doesn't hurt, but you know how when you cut your nail too short, right? It's
Yeah.
just sensitive. Well, that's
Yeah.
all of my thumb tip right now. It's that sensitive. So I kind of want to, it's keep it a little protected, keep it covered. I'm not, could have been worse.
So
It's still there.
makes it a
Still
little tough to
attached.
work. Makes it a
It
little tough to
does.
kinda get anything done and have that dexterity for sure.
Yeah. And then, so that was on a Friday, went back to work, finished out the day,
Damn.
and then went and worked Saturday and Sunday and did grout in
Doing a
showers.
tile. Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
When did you go to the
Just
doctor? Same day,
Friday after,
and then you
yeah.
went back to work. Okay.
Yep. Yep. Friday afternoon. Yep. Friday morning. Yeah. It happened like 10 in the morning. So I was able to get a nice long day in. I think
Buddha, you'll have to augment this with an actual photo that he texted us a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I'll have to put those pictures up. He sent that first. I'm like, "What the hell is
with a
that?" He's like, "It's
graphic
my
label.
thumbnail."
So unrelated and not nearly as painful as what you went through. A cousin of mine had very bad toe fungus, and he had 2 options, maybe 3. I think surgery. No, yeah, 2 options. Very expensive medication for the rest of his life to treat the toe fungus, or have each of his 10 toenails surgically removed.
Surgically removed.
And he went with that option. He said, the first few weeks is pretty uncomfortable because,
Yeah.
as you can imagine, you have no more padding or anything. So
Yeah.
he just has thick skin now for the toenails.
I mean, that to get rid of that, I've had to deal with some toenail fungus before. I was able to get rid of it with most of it with some medication and stuff. But I could see if it was real bad, just almost doing like I don't care, get rid of it. It's gross. It's sick to think of like there's a fungus, there's a mushroom or some sort growing on me that's itching a ride. Get rid of that shit. At least one of them. I know there's others, but
Well, we had a couple requests, people mentioning some things from the podcast. Dawn, my girlfriend, she's like, "What happened to the ridiculous headlines of the week?" She was missing those, so I had to pull those up. But I wanted to mention I saw this article earlier in the week, and I don't have it in front of me, but it was like about this certain type of jellyfish, right? It's apparently a pretty tiny jellyfish. It's not very big. It's only like about an inch and a half or whatever. When the jellyfish gets scared, it reverts to like an embryonic state and then it regrows from there. It's just, and it's technically, they can't figure, it's essentially immortal.
Huh. It
And
goes into a stress condition,
it
sort of,
goes in
and
like some kind
reverts.
of, some Rick and Morty fucking, cocoon. And then it starts over. And that's its defense mechanism. So just wanted to throw that out there as like some crazy ass science that I saw this week. And, like I said, didn't fact check anything, blah, blah, blah. I just read the fucking article.
Facts don't
You
matter
know,
these days, Josh.
it hardly does. So,
Play
but
that game, Republicans.
exactly. Exactly. Sometimes you just gotta fucking go one step crazier. Yep.
They're getting closer. They haven't found a unicorn yet, but they found a binacorn. They found one that's got 2 horns. Eventually, they'll find the unicorn. That's another real story I just heard.
Okay.
I don't know.
Hey, thought it was pretty well established that they were just like they were narwhals, that they wrote stories about the narwhals, what they saw. But whatever, we can go with your binacorns or whatever. It's Pride Month. You do you.
Yeah, that's right.
You can be a binacorn, a panicorn, you can be any kind of corn. There's like, yeah, whatever. So, and so that's, Dawn giving her 2 cents and saying what she missed. She actually commented apparently on YouTube, but I don't hardly ever go on there. So to pull one of you two in charge of managing my goodness, what is that?
Mention the YouTube accounts.
Yeah. Apparently when I hit something in my earbud, it brings up my Apple Music. So that's what was happening earlier.
Interesting.
But yes. So yeah, Dawn kind of keeps, gives us her advice. And then we have this other friend, Janet, who loves the podcast, and she's a retired lady. So she's the one who said, I'm just going to listen to all of them from the beginning. And I was like, well, that's a
My.
weird kink. You go ahead. I'm sorry to hear that.
Oof.
So,
Brutal.
so she gives me a hard time, from time to time, like texts me like, hey, what's the next episode? Hey, what's this and that? So I think I want to like make her a little part of the show. If you guys both know the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
I was getting ready to say, damn it, Janet.
Damn it, Janet. Not all of us are retired.
Yep.
So that was for her.
I love it.
But
I've never done
pull up
a
Go ahead.
live attendance of the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Have you guys?
Yeah, one time. It was, yeah. They're fun. I can't
A lot of
imagine. I'm
people
sure
in
they're still doing them
costume and
somewhere.
singing along and everything.
Just singing and
Yep.
dancing. Yeah.
Have not.
Fun.
Missed it.
Yeah.
Sure, they'll come back around again.
They probably still do.
Well, I'm
sure they do somewhere, right?
Yeah, they got to. They're fun. No, they're very fun.
You got more headlines?
Right.
Yeah,
I did. I
hit
just
us
did
off.
I did the quick ridiculous headlines of the week. And I only went like one step further with one of them. So the first one here, 100,000 illegal cockroaches in Australia. Okay. Authorities in Australia busted an insect breeder and seized over 100,000 illegal live cockroaches, marking the country's largest ever seizure of exotic invertebrates.
Ugh.
Cockroaches are exotic in Australia?
Having
I
a little
mean-
deja vu. That sounds familiar for some reason.
Got to imagine that they're only calling them exotic and that they're not native. Like
Not native?
Yeah, isn't like a toucan would be exotic in America, in North America?
But what are you doing with illegal like, who are you selling them to as an exotic cockroach
Right.
breeder? Like,
Yeah, I
are
don't
they
know.
making snacks out of them? Like, are they high in protein cockroaches, or
Maybe.
do they have the
Maybe.
insect snacks are right around the corner? That's actually happening. But
Yep,
are
high
they having
protein.
Insects,
cockroach
yes.
races?
Cockroaches?
Insects, yes. Cockroaches, no.
So really thin line you just drew there.
Very,
Yeah, very. Yeah.
very.
Okay. Fair enough.
So that's my follow-up question. What the hell do you do? What are you doing with illegal cockroaches to begin with? How do you make money with illegal cockroaches?
That is a great question.
Or was it just the naivete of like, I just need 100,000 cockroaches for this stunt, and I didn't realize that I ordered them from the wrong. I didn't realize they're non-natives cockroach. I don't
So if
know.
we dig into this, we're going to get to Johnny Knoxville at a certain point. Like, it's a
Maybe
jackass stunt gone wrong. Okay, maybe I'll buy that.
some weird
But
kink. I don't know, but
AI, if you're in front of your computer, Google what the hell
I'm
you
doing it
would
right
do with
now.
100. Like, what would you do with 100,000 illegal cockroaches in Australia? I want to
I'm a
know.
step ahead of you. People do intentionally breed cockroaches, and I'm just reading as we go. And the reasons are
Sure.
surprisingly practical. Number
surprising.
one reason, feeder insects for reptiles, amphibians. Okay, all right.
Okay. All right.
Number 2, scientific and laboratory research. Number 3,
Okay.
traditional medicine. Ugh. Number 4, commercial farming for profit because they reproduce quickly and are in demand for the pet trade and research. Some people what?
That reason almost kind of relates to the first two reasons.
Okay.
Kind of
Yeah.
cyclical.
Number 5, they're easy to breed. Okay, you're going to breed them just because they're easy to breed. And finally, number
Some
6,
people.
education and hobby insect keeping. But
You don't need 100,000 for that.
No,
You can do that with
exactly.
2 cockroaches.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you wouldn't say that about an ant farm, though. You know, you don't have 2 ants. You got to have 100,000 ants. If you're going to have a cockroach farm, you probably got to have 100,000 cockroaches.
100,000 ants live in a space about yo big.
Well, you know, but it's hard to see them.
So here's an important note. People do
Please
not
help us.
breed pest species like the German or American cockroaches. So German and American cockroaches are pest species. There are other non-infesting species that cannot survive
Okay.
long outside controlled enclosures.
That makes sense. The Germans and the Americans are infestive. Yeah.
We're just going to let that sit right there. All right. So there you go. We learned way more about cockroaches than we thought when we started this episode.
I don't
Okay.
kill animals. I don't kill bugs. Cockroaches and flies are the exception. Sorry.
We'll let you have that.
Yeah, that's you.
You're not a murderer. Okay. A capuchin monkey goes on the lam. Residents in Yucatan, Mexico had to deal with a rogue capuchin monkey that made a brief jailbreak from a local zoo while its enclosure was undergoing routine cleaning. That sounds almost like poetic. It's like Norman Rockwell at this point to see a headline like that.
Nice. Yeah. Just the monkey running out and escaping, you know, because somebody, a lazy janitor's out there just scooping up some monkey poop and, you know, oh no, the monkey escaped.
All right, which one do I want to save for last? Okay. All right. So the world's loudest person. The Guinness World Record crowned an Australian man an honorary town crier as the loudest person on the planet. Would anyone like to guess what his decibel level hit?
Woo. 50.
122.
No way.
Jesus Christ, 122.4. Did you look that up?
No, just off the top of my head.
A jet engine's
nailed
like
it.
100, right?
So I that was the one that I pulled a little further. I said, what sounds come up at 120? Yeah. Sirens like an ambulance, a police siren from just a few feet away, standing near a runway during a takeoff of a jet engine, a concert or loud club, power tools like right in your ear. That's as loud. That's how loud that dude is. That's insane.
Is that the cockroach breeder?
No.
Somebody
And
would be
dude-
scared of them.
Prolonged exposure, anywhere from 12 to 30 seconds, is dangerous.
Damage your ears. Yeah.
Yeah. For sure. So that guy got, he got a recognition from Guinness on that, and hopefully he uses his powers for good.
Is he a big guy or a little guy? Do you know?
You have to look that one up. It's on U.S. News and World Reports.
Gotta be
Australia.
a big guy. Got it.
You think he's got to be hefty? All right.
Yeah, because that'd create the power, but the tones are a little bit lower. If he's got a little bit higher pitched
Okay.
tone, maybe it can achieve a higher decibel with. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, it's a
What do
fat
you
gay
think?
guy.
Maybe it's a fat gay guy. Fat gay Australian guy. Okay, so this is okay. Now I'm getting a weird picture of this
Fat gay
Australian bear
Australian
in my
cockroach
head.
breeder. That's it. That's who it is.
Cockroach breeder.
That's who it is.
Okay. All right.
I
So I saved the Florida headline for last because it's all you need is the headline and the word Florida, right? Dog that didn't bark is the title on this one. It says in Florida, officials called out to rescue a stray dog stranded in a canal, only to discover the terrified creature was actually a coyote.
yeah.
And they were wondering why it wouldn't bark.
Yip. might make some growls, but
Even
not
even
barking.
a little homey, quaint little Florida story. Didn't even have anything to do with meth. Nobody died. Just a coyote
No.
that people thought was a dog.
Well, the
Yeah.
meth did not make it into the story.
Hey, this is a wholesome episode,
Okay.
or at least the wholesome end to an episode.
What happened to the coyote? Did they rescue it, or did they shoot it?
I didn't do any follow-ups. I literally did the minimum required to get my girlfriend off my ass on this one.
I like that. Well, sometimes as the coyote, he just doesn't. Acme gives him some wrong shit, and you end up in a canal, and you got to
For
call for
sure.
help.
And honestly, like this week, it does seem like it was a little weak in the world of ridiculous headlines. Like those were the 4 that popped up. I could have probably dug a little deeper into some other sites, but I've gotten way better results in the past. So maybe we do have to wait every other week to do that one.
There's so much bizarre stuff happening in actual news. It's not like
Yeah.
bizarre. Like it's
Yeah.
kind of hard to come up with behind like off the wall stuff. Like everything is just kind of.
Yeah. Everything's a little too real at the moment. Exactly. Well, I'll say wrap it up by saying, well, because we haven't said congratulations to the Hurricanes, right? For winning
Yeah.
the Stanley Cup. That happened
Woo.
since we recorded last. For people who seem to go into it saying they didn't give a shit about Carolina or Vegas, they put a hell of a series together for everybody.
And
You
I
can say
only
what you will.
listen to the radio broadcast. I don't have ABC, so I don't get to watch it. Or
All right,
ESPN.
hey, I'll ask you. So
Okay.
here was something that was in the ether in the comments about the series, because at least 3 of the games there was huge comebacks, which could also be called blown leads, like
Like
right,
goal, and then
right,
I mean
quick,
just craziness.
succession, 2-3 goals at a time. There was a lot of
Yeah.
that, and some people were saying like they didn't like that because they didn't like to see a team like give up some. I'm like they didn't like those swings in hockey. Like,
What?
oh, it's supposed to be exciting because one team got off to a lead and then they choked. I'm like, I couldn't get my head around it. It was good. It was just good hockey. I mean, I get that there were streaks, but doesn't that just basically speak to the level of play at the NHL level right now? Like any team can score 3 goals in 2 minutes these days. That's
It
pretty
was so
damn exciting.
exciting listening to that on the radio.
Yeah, I thought
And
so.
then- And what I was going to start out by saying is I don't know their names, but the 2 Hurricanes team announcers, you got the play-by-play guy and the analyst, they
Mhm.
both got so emotional after the win, which surprised me. I was in a pleasant way. I was like, wow, I'm surprised.
Nice.
Hockey guys are tough guys, I was pleasantly surprised. They were just genuinely emotional. I was like, wow, that's pretty cool.
And that goalie for the Hurricanes, like his
He was
first 3
injured.
starts.
So it turns out he wasn't just benched. He was playing injured. And he finally said, enough's enough. And that's when they brought in the guy who just went off. He just went.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The guy that won it, he like 3
Yeah.
starts. Those were like his first starts at the
Bussy?
NHL level.
Is that his
Bussy,
name?
yeah, and then he pitches a shutout in Game 6 to clinch the cup, dude. You can't ask for a better story.
Yeah. No, they were just in love with him, the Hurricane announcers. Every time I heard the word Bussy, I mean, they were just loving it.
So yeah,
you gotta.
being from Charlotte, I'll be curious to see if that gets some popularity for the Canes going in the city, like what that does in that area. Because I mean, they're up around Raleigh, be a couple hours up the road, but still,
It had been, 20 years since their last or something like that?
about that
Or
probably.
maybe a little more?
I don't know exactly, but yeah, they had one. But hey,
I think it was right. It was about the time I came down to North Carolina that they won, I think. So I think, but
yeah, it was probably around that time, early 2000s, I think.
And
so
Chronic, my hockey coach, hockey teacher, she's the one that taught me about hockey in Detroit. She's convinced me there's enough love in my heart for the Wings still as well. So
good. There always will be. You always love a redhead.
that's my first love. Yeah.
And now we have to wait until football starts again, unless because I don't watch baseball.
Well, speaking of which, who cares about facts, right? We've already established that. So I'm not going to bore you with the details on. So I'm a UNC guy. It had been like, I'm going to say like 12 years in a row where at least one UNC athletic team has won a national championship every year. Like every year, at least one UNC team has won a championship. Baseball was the final chance for 2026. UNC, it was an amazing run. They made it to the heads up finals against Oklahoma, who was 11th in the SEC. They were 11th in their own conference, and they just went on this huge winning streak. So it's best of 3. Oklahoma blew out Carolina in game 1. So now Carolina's got to win a back-to-back games. They won handily in game 2. So yesterday was game 3. Got clobbered. So that ends up baseball. No championship for North Carolina this year.
Gotcha.
First time they've never had.
Not never, but first time in like 12 or something years. It's been a while.
I did see that the College World Series was happening, and I don't mind catching some of that when I get the chance, because especially when I'm working like around here, Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, man, that shit's big around here. And apparently, I did hear Oklahoma went on a holy fucking tear and just got hot at the right time.
They finished 11th in their conference. I mean, is that a Cinderella? What?
I heard their pitching's pretty spectacular.
3 freshmen won back-to-back-to-back games. 3 freshmen. I mean, they were the hottest team. There was no debate over it.
Yeah, I don't mind watching that kind of stuff, but I just can't watch professional baseball on like a day-to-day level. It just like puts me to sleep.
They lost me 30 years ago when they went on strike. I was like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I can maybe. There was a time when I could have it on the background as and maybe like on the TV or as the radio, just as I was doing something else, just as noise and or like I could go to a game, like especially a minor league game
live. Yeah,
but other than that, I have no interest in watching or checking it out.
They tried to get us back. They introduced steroids, like they've been blasting the ball over the fucking fence. Randy Johnson made a bird explode.
That's true.
Do you know what he does now?
And Randy Johnson?
Other birds explode?
He's a photographer. And his logo has something to do with it, like incorporated a bird in his logo for his business. But yeah, he loves to do photography now.
Well, since you brought it up, Bo Jackson was telling the story about the famous Nolan Ryan and who was the guy he got in a fight with? Do you remember the fight?
I do.
I can picture him.
Yeah.
Robin Ventura?
He was a young kid. Robin Ventura.
Okay.
Robin Ventura.
So Bo Jackson's telling the story, and he says, before the game, we're talking in the dugout. All right. The last game was contentious. Nolan Ryan's pitching. He always throws inside. There's going to be something. Let's be ready. Now, if you get hit, they're telling all the teammates, if you get hit, you must charge the mound. I don't care who you are. Be a man, charge the mound. But don't just charge the mound. Don't just get there. I want you to run through him. Don't just get to the mound and try to wrestle him. I want you to run through him. So those are the 2 rules. You must charge and run through Nolan Ryan. Well, he said Ventura gets up to bat and he gets hit. He starts to walk it off, starts to walk to first base. And then he remembers, damn it, I got to charge the mound. So he charges the mound and stops just short. And Bo's like, what the hell are you doing? No. So they start swinging and, there's a whole headlock thing where Nolan Ryan's hitting him on the head. And then both teams just empty the dugouts. Bo Jackson says, so I get a run and go. And there's a big pile on the mound. And I just dive. And I'm airborne. And as I land, the sea of humanity parted. And I landed on the ground. He said that. Robin Ventura, if he'd have just done what we said, we wouldn't have had all that.
If you've never seen it, it's a great piece of YouTube at this point because Robin Ventura does, he doesn't want to go. You can see that like he almost just starts to walk it off and then he remembers, but when he gets there and he pauses, Nolan just puts him in a headlock and just starts wearing his face out.
Wailing on him with his pitching hand, which is a
Nolan Ryan
no-no.
was one of the toughest son of a bitches ever to throw a baseball. I mean,
when
his
he-
last game, when he tore his ACL or whatever in his shoulder, he tore whatever. He threw one more pitch just to see how it felt, and that pitch was 98 miles an hour. And then he walked off and never pitched again.
I've never heard that story. Wow. Wow.
He was the real deal. He was a gangster when it came to fucking pitching.
I have heard that. I don't know much about baseball, but Nolan Ryan I understood him as one of the greats, and it was very, very tough, mean son of a bitch.
I went to baseball camp when I was probably like 13 or 14, and they were telling us, all right, with most pitchers, you see the ball, hit the ball. So it goes see, hit, see, hit. They're like, if you're facing Nolan Ryan, it's see, hit, see it. There's nothing in between. It's just bam, it's on you.
Yeah. And that clip was like the perfect example of what they used to say back in like the 80s or whatever. If you're going to come, you better come correct.
That's what Bo was trying to tell
Ventura
me.
did not come correct.
Admit.
That's all I've got to say for the evening. Anybody else got anything to wrap this up?
I don't think so, but next podcast, I'd like to talk about the Woodstock documentary that I thoroughly enjoyed recently. So,
all right,
spend a little time on it.
Did you watch the original one, or is there a newer one out?
This one is called Woodstock: 3 Days That Defined a Generation. It's on PBS.
Okay. It's on PBS. All right.
I don't think it's a new one, if that answers your question.
Gotcha. Well, there you go. A little preview for the next episode.
Okay, cool.
Until then, gotta watch baseball, I guess.
Oof.
Yuck.
It's not quite as depressing as the actual headlines, but damn, I just didn't expect all that. Anyway, all right. Good night.
Yep. Peace.
See ya.